Okay, starting the stream now. Hopefully everything's working. Hope that you're able to see the game and hear my voice. Um, so, alright, we have 2 viewers on. That's, I think, about the highest so far as starting. But, time to end the game. No, I'm not gonna update. That would end this entire challenge. Okay, is everything working? Is the audio okay? Yeah. The streams are meant to be longer, but the problem was just that oh. Sorry, is the audio... Sorry, it's just having problems. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna take a long... Usually these are supposed to be longer, but I kept running into issues. Oh, the bet isn't open yet. You should open that up. The... Okay, now it should be working. But first, you need points to gamble, so if I go over... Now you should be able to... You should put exclamation point bet. Then what you think I'm gonna... If I'm gonna be no hitting, or if I'm gonna be able to not get hit at least 7 times before I deal. So if I'm gonna go with 100 damage, we'll see how that works out later on. And then how many points. I just gave you all 5, so that should hopefully work. But also those of you who commented should get points. So if I do this right, it should look something like this. This is the first time doing a bet on streamlabs on this channel, so hopefully the bets are going through. It doesn't look like the streamlabs is doing it. is just make sure. Sorry for. Should give a confirmation message after doing so. Nice. See, now it's going to show a message. Oh. Weird. Well, I guess the betting is broken, but you should be able to, just by chatting, you'll get points. But I'm not sure how those are gonna exactly work. You just I'm also still a little sick. That's why last week the stream was cut out. So okay, so exclamation points is working. If you do exclamation points, you'll see how many points you have, and that's how much you're able to bet. Oh yeah, I agree that the no hitting the night is not worth the dialogue, but now I'm gonna start the challenge and hopefully you're able to get your bets in. And my counter's not working, because of course it's not. Let me just fix that real quick. Why did it change? There we go, everything should be working now. So back to the challenge for real this time. Yeah, Undertale is now 10 years old. In 8 more years, they'll be able to vote. It's a shame that the newsletter wasn't able to give that much for Chapter 5, but At least it did give us a mic cutscene. I'm excited for the streams that are going to come up on the weekend. So, if those streams end up showing hard mode, I'm going to be a little screwed because one of the series that I'm doing is right now is the most pacifism with minimum mercy in Undertale, like I did with Deltarune chapters 1 through 4. And I just finished recording the Snowden part, so if any updates happens, especially if a hard mode is added, then I just have to redo a glitch that was pretty tedious to do the first time, which was dog marriage skip. One hit. So the Homestuck thing, I never read Homestuck, or I've only known it from, I guess, secondhand information. I mean, Toby did ask us what we want to name the fallen humans, so... And I saw that Mystic Slime is hoping it for it to be Frisk. But yeah, if he does if they do a full hard mode playthrough, that's definitely going to be something. The funny thing is that we won't, even if he does input Frisk and does a hard mode, we won't know if it actually is anything new until the end of Ruins. Yeah, just imagining. But I guess if he does any changes beforehand, like making hard mode not look an actual thing and not just a joke, that would work. So they're keeping hard mode not to look is in the game. In a weird way of doing it though. Imagine like it's the exact same ending to hard mode, except where it says like hard mode, like out never or like almost never, whatever it says at the end. It also says like coming 2026. Second hit. Like just the same way as Deltarune has it in chapter 4. Do you think more people would be excited for that they were for chapter 5 coming up? Or less excited? If Toby did also put like hard mode coming up next year. But really, uh, I'm gonna heal after this turn. So sorry for Rama for. I'll say Streamlabs does that. I tried changing that, but it just doesn't want to listen to me, I guess. It distracted me seeing all your messages get deleted. It's one reason why I took damage there. I wonder if something will even be revealed, like, in the weekend stream. Because, like, we're sort of expecting it since last time there was a stream like this during an Undertale anniversary. It was when Chapter 2 was announced. So, like, we already know that Chapter 5 is coming out next year, so... And Harm was the most expected thing, even if it was possibly just a joke. It was first uploaded. It was first shown, I guess. Feed. That was way too early. In the fourth hit. I do wonder how this challenge will affect my mental health or anything once it's done. If I get that far, and that's hoping that my Switch doesn't automatically update, shut down, the game doesn't crash, Switch doesn't crash. So much can just randomly end this challenge. Me being bad can end this challenge. One thing about phase 3 though, is that one does... It ends by doing the counterattack with the giant baseball. But the thing is, she doesn't do that attack when he's at 1 HP. So I've been thinking about how to deal with that, but that's not until like probably months later. Yeah, I think this is how someone gets mad, but at the same time, only a mad person would probably do this. For all you know, the freedom motif is playing 100 times every moment in my head. Oh yeah, I remember trying to do a Star Walker joke on someone else's stream, and yeah, like the spaces fixes themselves. So annoying. What if one day Toby just comes to the stream and like he sees this and he's like, you know, I was about to release Deltarune Chapter 5, but I see you haven't finished this, so we're gonna delay it even further. And like it just rests on me to finish this challenge for Deltarune Chapter 5 to come out. That'd be such a stupid. Oh, 84%! We're halfway through phase 1, basically. I think it's funny thinking about what video is it that you guys might have come from. Like, yeah, there's technically not a 0% chance any of you came from my Link to the Past videos, but I highly doubt it. Like, obviously you're from my Deltarune videos, but I think the chance that one of you might have come from there is just a funny thought. But at the same time, like, it's a high likelihood that you came from the Roaring Knight video. And this is kind of like the opposite of it, but at the same time the same thing, where this is a very easy to dodge attacks, and I'm very bad at dodging for some reason. Yet, they both just do one thing for way longer than you're supposed to. And like, some of you might have come from my other Deltarune, and I guess now Undertale, videos of pacifism but without mercy. And some of you might have come from my other challenge videos. And some of you might have come from my Jebel video, my Jebel's Tail and Knife video. So like the thought of like just so many different things, either glitches, challenges, a weird playthrough of the game, and technically even from other games possible. And then you all decide to stay for this. So, I think it was Ramat who said it. I wonder where you got the 32 streams from, because I've noticed that it takes about 1 hour to do 5% of her health. So it should take only 20 hours to do the battle. And each stream is supposed to be at least 1 hour, hopefully 2 or 3 hours. I expected this to be like 10 streams, 10 to 15 streams. But yeah, the health bar at the top is like very like, it makes it very hopeful of like how far we've gone, but Yeah, I know there's 2 more phases where the health bar gets refilled, so... Luckily, right here where it says Giga Queen, it does tell you her true HP, so we know how far we've gone through that. I guess maybe my math was weird, or maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was an hour and a half for 5 cents. So you're counting for only 2 streams, right? Because last week there was no stream. The stream had to be cancelled because I got sick, so I didn't actually do any damage to her last week. Also, the first one in the whole in the playlist is not the same battle. It's a different battle they did a few months before. I don't actually know how long I've been actually doing this challenge, but today I've only started like half an hour ago, so not even half an hour ago. It's possible that for what you saw in the numbers, it might be a little skewed because of how. I probably should have made that more obvious that this is a different. That the first stream was a different attempt. I mean, like, it's a guess. Plus, we don't know how much longer Phase 2 and Phase 3 are gonna be. Like, right now, every attack is about 10 to 15 seconds. It's possible that Phase 2 has, like, 20 to 30 second attacks, so... How much longer Phase 2 or Phase 3? Plus, every stream was supposed to go for at least 3 hours, but each one has had its own problems with either the weather was being bad, I got sick, or generally just didn't. I think the first the first stream actually got a copyright strike midway through because I stayed quiet for too long. And it was basically just Knock You Down was playing while the stream was badly showing basically like a PowerPoint of the fight instead of the actual fight because of my internet was so bad the first time. That's also why the first stream is a re-upload instead of the stream itself. So yeah. Also, my numbers are not perfect. I've definitely forgotten to update the counter because I have to update it manually. There's no... I couldn't find an automatic way to do it. Or at least not one that I understood. The Queen HP that's right now at 4012, or whatever number it's at, that's around 4000. That's for the full fight, not for just this phase. But it's not fully accurate because there's been times where I've forgotten to update it. So it's just a rough guess. I'm gonna heal. didn't for change. Do not. There we go. But yeah, right now, it's not a perfect counter, but I managed to just like find something online. I could just press the control button on my keyboard, and then it just every time I press it, it changes the number. But sometimes it just doesn't work, or sometimes you forget to do it. So it's not a perfect number right now. Basically, just always assume it's a rough guess. Now, unless someone wants to go back to every stream and count every turn individually, that's up to you to do, I know. But I had no way to confirm that than other than doing it myself again. I would change the music, but the thing is I don't really know how to do that, and also because there's no slider to change sound effect and music individually. There's no to change the music and also to get rid of the sound effects, which is a little, which I think gets rid of some of the fun, very little fun. So we're just going to be here to knock you down for at least a few more hours. Under 4,000 and at 83%. Also, it's a little weird for me. I'm looking at the counter because the preview that I'm watching it through on my PC is like very delayed to me because it's supposed to be emulating what you guys are seeing. So like the counter is a few behind of what I see. And it's not on my TV where I'm actually looking at the game. Looks like streamlabs. I tried turning it off like streamlabs like from doing that kind of stuff. Cause like right now, it's not like it's a problem if you guys use caps or do a lot of messages. Like you guys are the only ones here, so I don't mind it, but like there was no way at least that I could find like I did press like the don't I could turn off the that part of Streamlabs, but it just wouldn't work. At least this gives you guys their little but it refused moments. Who will win, chat or Streamlabs? Who will win, chat trying to have a regular conversation or Streamlabs just be not working? I'm pretty sure that Streamlabs isn't the night. And we just saw them take someone away. And I mean, have you seen Streamlabs and the night in the same room? That reminds me. For the Undertale Pacifist No Mercy video that I did, someone mentioned the colors that I use for Spare and Runaway, how they're yellow and pink. I did that by accident. I didn't even think it didn't even cross my mind about that connection to Deltarune. I only did it because of the one frogget that if you tell them that you don't like yellow names, you can switch them to pink. Funny how you just do things without even noticing sometimes that it works out. So the question is, did Toby do that on purpose, or was that also just coincidence on his part? Yeah, I mean, I wonder if like anyone like since I'm thinking like how the Kirby Air Riders game is gonna come out on November. Since main Kirby is pink and second yellow, I wonder if anyone's gonna make that shift also. The only thing is, as you guys probably seen through the shorts, is that my profile picture is a pink star on a black feather, but on the shorts it's a blue star on a white feather. It was actually originally be yellow on white, but then I realized that you couldn't see the yellow that well through the white. Though I did that because of primary colors, and like magenta and yellow make red, and the soul is red, so I was gonna make it like the star itself was gonna be, if you combine them it's red, but it didn't work out. So yeah, like pink and yellow, if you think about it, Susie's body is pink or magenta-ish, but her teeth are yellow. I reminded of the SpongeBob episode of the ones that were based off like the Olympics. I forgot what the episode of this one was called. But the ending of yellow, pink. We knew that they were also. I believe the SpongeBob staff is such huge Deltarune fans. I think hindsight is such a funny thing. Like, if you look at things back, like you see like, oh, obviously that was wrong, or obviously this is right. So, like, you see that a lot with theories, but like, same time, like when so many people are making theories, obviously there's gonna be a lot of wrong ones, a lot of right ones. But like, sometimes you just have a theory that's like so bad that it doesn't make sense. Like I had one of those for chapter 3. Where when chapters 1 and 2 were out, I did make a connection that ended up being more important than I thought, but not as important as in the way that I thought it was going to be. Which was in chapter 3, I had the when chapter 2 was out, I made the connection that obviously Spanish was connected to a shop. Now I didn't connect that to Sham, who also had a shop in chapter 1, and Sham was connected to Devil. Instead, the connection I made was that since Stanton has a shop and Rule's Cars had a shop, I thought that Rule's Card was going to be, in every chapter, was going to be the hint to the next Shadow Crystal boss. So my insane chapter 3 theory was that the secret boss was going to be a pirate, because Rule's Card was a pirate in chapter 2. And then the more I thought of it, the more, to me, it made sense at the time. Since it was going to be the theme of, because we had the idea that every chapter boss is, and every secret boss is going to have a theme park battlefield. Since, you know, Jewel was the carousel, Phantom was the roller coaster. Today it was like that swinging pirate ship ride, which honestly I've only seen in Super Mario Sunshine, so like I'm not even sure if it's an actual carnival ride or just made up there. But then I also thought about like, oh, you're gonna get to the boss by channel surfing, which in a weird way was kind of true in its sense, where you do, well, I guess it's not surfing, but like going on a raft. When you do, you know, in chapter 3 for Northern Light. So, like, it was, but I kept making like small things that I don't remember all of them. I think I made like the connection that, oh, that pirates wear mantles or something like that. No, it was, no, I got confused with the word mantle and the word mast. That was one of the things I remember I made a mistake of. Like, to me it just made so much sense, but then, you know, Toby said knight to c3 and everyone was wrong. But who knows what Chapter 5 will have for us. So we're at 82%. Yeah, I wish I could say the same for me, but no, for me it was just a bunch of... I mean, the only correct things that I got were things were basically spoon-fed to us through Crunch and Sleep Sticks, but like, other than that, I was basically wrong on all fronts. Oh, well, I mean, I thought everyone pretty much thought that, and I was like the main boss. Well, no, I guess people thought Mike would have been, since double reference Queen and Phantom reference Mike instead of reference kinda. So yeah, I guess. So I guess it was a weird thing where we had a name, but we had a face, and we didn't really know what was going to, how they were going to relate. Yeah, that is a weird thing of like the secret game where Tenna, that was like, basically they made a deal with the knight, but we know that the deal was made with Chris. I think that's what that's what he implies during the boss fight against him. Which I mean makes sense. Oh, and he also says like he knows why that Chris made the fountain and stuff. So yeah, it's weird that Tenna calls Chris the knight, or at least implies, because we already know that the knight, or at least the one that we see as the knight, is different from Chris. So for chapter 5, or I guess for any future chapters, my current theory is on triple Chusi theory, in which that Chris is obviously connected with Carol and the Knight, but my theory is that Carol and the Knight have zero connection to each other, or at least in the sense of planning. Other than that, I don't really have that many theories, or at least not any major ones. I can see Roaring Knight be a title, but the only problem I have with that is the way the prophecy itself referenced it. But for the prophecy itself, maybe we don't see it as it's supposed to be, for reasons. But so far as the way the prophecy states is that there's only one knight. Like, it emphasizes there's multiple heroes, but it only says one knight. So, I guess one other theory that I have is that the knight might not even be like I guess it would still be a monster, but I think the knight might be an Amalgate. Like the ones from Streamlabs and Undertale. I don't really have much to go off of on that. Like, it doesn't help that we don't really know much about what's going even on in the shelter. Like, one of the weirdest things that every chapter so far has been at most one day. And now in chapter 4 we're being hinted something that's going to happen next week. Which would imply 7 more chapters, but like, we already know that we're at the halfway point, so that's unlikely. And also, I feel like that would be like Toby's doing way too much at this point. Like, I wonder what the next week thing might even mean. And then, like, the fact that the knight is able to transform, the only monster we really see transform are Azrael into the boss fight version of him, and I guess outside of Flowey, and the Amalgates. For some of them actually like change how they look during the battle. I don't think we see like an Undyne, but that's after she's become with so much determination. I don't think we've seen like a regular enemy transform, at least to that extent. If I am wrong, hopefully I get to be reminded of who else can transform, but as far as I remember, those are the only ones that actually change shape to such an extent. I just realized I had to do something. I do like you working. Yeah. Hopefully by next week I can fix that with the betting, because it didn't look like it was getting anyone's bets in. You only accept in one, that was like a test one, but I get and it broke. So, the winning option would have been Gamer, since I only got hit 6 times during the last 100 HP, so I'll keep that in mind for next. Unless I miscount it. Yeah, like I feel like Dust is the highest candidate of who it is. Especially since we know. Outside of like random tidbits here and there, we know almost nothing about her, what she looks like, how she acts, where she is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Dust. It'd be interesting if it's someone else, but I wouldn't be like... As long as the story is good, it really doesn't matter to me too much who the knight is, honestly. Yeah, I mean that Hyper Gunner is really a big like technically it could be Azrael again. I guess it could be Azrael, but like I feel like Toby wouldn't have Azrael be such an important character in Undertale and again the same importance in Deltarune. But being the secret evil, I guess. So something I thought about, like as I've been like replaying through Deltarune and Undertale again for like the videos I've been making, also just see what's else I could catch from them. I've been finding a few parallels between Susie and Azrael. Mostly like the one of they both want things to go on forever, basically. Like the majority of the Azrael Dreamer fight is Azrael wanting you to never leave and to keep playing with you. Meanwhile, in Deltarune, we have the Gerson fight where, when asked how does she want the ending to be, her response is that there will be that she doesn't want an ending. She wants things to go on forever. I think it's like an interesting parallel between those two. What it means, what's going to happen in Deltarune, I have zero idea. But it's just something I thought about. Sure. Tell me how you think it's gonna end. I feel like any theory I think is always interesting, even if they're like very wrong. I think it's interesting like how you can make up like from the info that we know, like how much you could come up with. Oh yeah, that was another connection I saw with Andrew and Susie. Of how they both say like the main theme is you're supposed to try to fight against, basically. Where you don't tell us kill or be killed, and you're in the pacifist route, you're trying to disprove that by being pacifist. And right now, in Deltarune, your choices don't matter, well. But we as a collective are trying to go against that, but however, we don't even know if our efforts are gonna work. But it's just here, there's two ways of kind of going against it. Maybe even three. As Rousey is trying to go against it as by being a pacifist the same way we did in Undertale, basically. And the player could try to do it by doing the weird route and continuing it. Those are two possible ways to maybe escape the final fate. And then there's also the shadow crystals that might do something. Honestly, yeah, I feel like there's gonna be something that's gonna happen. I definitely feel like something's gonna happen to Rudy, like his condition is gonna worsen. I remember seeing like a video of someone doing like, it was like chapter 5 cutscene or something like that. And it was like, everyone was at the festival enjoying their time, but then suddenly Rudy falls over. And like, well, like at that moment remembers about the Dark World or something like that. And asks Chris to basically make one to save Rudy or like that. And like that's supposedly how the Dark World's gonna start in that chapter or something like that. I think it's an interesting idea, but like that's also another possibility where no one's just like desperate to save Rudy or is desperate because Rudy dies or something like that. Just wants to escape to a dark world, like to be away from reality or something like that. And inadvertently causes a roaring. Sort of like how Burley was gonna cause the was gonna accidentally summon a Titan in chapter 2. Like I think that's a very possible idea. That's actually very interesting, like fighting every recruit. That's interesting because it also would be, on a repeat playthrough, it would incentivize that. It would incentivize not recruiting as much. Which is, I think, an interesting idea of like, do you want the final battle to be easier, or do you want to be a pacifist, or what is it that you're aiming for? I think that could be interesting. I reminds me of another theory that I've had. It says chapter 1. I guess it's chapter 2. But no, it was since chapter 1. One thing I've always remembered is in chapter 1, battle gets 3 happies. If you dodge the first attack, which you will probably will, you get a little cutscene of Lancer asking why didn't they hurt you? Or why aren't you thrashed or something like that. And Ralsei says it's because you're a team of 3 recruits. Or not 3, a team of 3 supports. I've always kept that in mind. So, when chapter 2 came out, obviously one support is Ralsei. But then you get access to Noelle, who is basically another support with her healing magic and her Fleet Mist. And then you also get Suzy learns a healing spell. So it made me think that in chapter 2, there's gonna be a boss fight or a battle where you don't have Chris, but you have Noelle, Ralsei, and Suzy as your team. Now what to do with that information, I have no idea. That's just something I've thought about. Yeah, I mean the idea of like this, we're gonna have the same ending no matter what, but different outcomes, has been a high, basically like what a lot of people believe. I think that's an interesting way, but the weird thing about the way that one's written, like that you put, it all is basically based on the final choice. It's like a weird thing, like, not to say that it might not be it, but it feels weird to just have it be only the final one that matters in a sense. Of course, who knows, maybe Toby does the hard to do something like that, maybe he does it. To be honest, we are all in the dark of what Toby's gonna do. Only he knows what the ending's gonna be. So, how chapter 1 ends, it's a different ending based on how many, depending on how if you use balance or not. Whether you use balance against the king, however, doesn't matter. You can actually, yeah, pacifist all the way through, fight Jevil, and fight the king, and you'll still get the pacifist then. Yes. Like the only choice that doesn't matter is whether you choose to fight king or not, and Jevil. Attack, I mean. Since, you know, fight, round one. Honestly, like, I'm not sure myself, like, how I expect to be ending of the game. I've heard people talk about, like, how many files, it's like a chapter 0 or something like that, or, like, weird things, like... The only thing we've known is, like, what's been told to us directly, but, like, everything else is, like... Yeah, that's one thing I have thought about, like, it might be that the weird route might end with a better ending, per se, but the worst, like, way to get there. So it's like a choice, like, what do you prefer in a sense? Or, like... So, like, the weird route is such an interesting thing about... Especially in Chapter 4, it looks like the main suggestion is that we're gonna take over Noel. But the problem is, like, not the problem, the process is, like, how we're gonna do that such a weird way. Also, we're down to 80% of height. Oh yeah, the narration will only tell me to do this because as long as I don't press A or B, the game will just be like, by the way, tutorial. Have you done the tutorial yet? Have you noticed that you can press A or B during her attack? That's why I put it in the thumbnail, every stream has that, because I knew that was going to appear a lot. I completed Deltarune Chapter 2, I haven't done that yet. Still in the Giga Queen fight. Yeah, phase 2 is gonna be so weird once I get there. Because I know I'm gonna be too used to these attacks that the second she does a different version of them, I'm gonna be so off guard. I'm gonna get hit like way too many times. That and also to remember how to dodge the red soul mode attacks. So I don't know if that's until phase 3. Or if it also happens in phase 2. Look at that health bar at the top of this. Show it to some of you, they think that we're almost done here. Well, that's just such a weird, the word I'm looking for. This thing that happens at the beginning of the game. Yeah, I was like, obviously you're told that it's discarded and all that, but I remember someone, at least for chapter 2, they said that it's still in the files, like it's still saved in the files. So like, it might end up being used for something, and I mean, it would make sense, like... So like, what it's gonna be used for? Yeah, I have no idea if it's even gonna be used. Sometimes it's hard to show comedy in the, the text. Especially when you lack context. Yo, this fight is such a... It's gonna be so long to do this, that... Who knows? Oh, Rachel. So sometimes I wonder like if people of the development team other than they'll be like, how much do they know about the future chapter? Like outside of what they are working on. How much are they told, or are they just as surprised when they see things like that they weren't told about? Like, or does everyone know like what's gonna happen in the next chapter by now? I mean, someone said that I saw a comment on the Roaring Knight video, the Unswooning Ralph Save with Ultra Heal one, that they said they really like the fact that this is that's basically just an extended version of Black Knight with sound effects. Funny thing is, I don't think they got to the part where I have Dragonstein shouts, "You're taking too long," which apparently was too loud. I honestly didn't thought it was too loud when I did, so sorry for those of you that were hearing them, but now it's a pinned comment talking about it as a warning for others. I see. The knight is actually the Gerson statue that we don't fight in chapter 4. See, there's 2 of them, but we only fight 1 of them. Clearly the other one must be the knight. Honestly, I don't know too much about Homestuck. I thought about like, reading it, but like, at the same time, like, I feel like I've been warned not to friends. That reminds me of, before I had this stream idea, well, before I was doing Deltarune videos, I did Earthbound videos, and originally my first stream was going to be playing Mother 3, but the Japanese version. Also, I don't know any Japanese. So you can tell I'm full of those ideas. I'm full of bad or possibly good ideas, depending on your perspective. So I guess depending on not gonna sound too good, but depending on the slurs, it might not end up being my cup. I mean, to each their own. Also, like, it can connect up. The only thing I do know about Homestuck, like, that isn't like just don't read it or don't watch it, is the Megalovania use for it. That one's the web comic, I think. So, like, that's like, you know, basic. You don't even need to know the actual context of it to know about it. You just have to keep listening to enough Megalovania remix. Search Megalovania long enough and you'll find it. Also, look at the last. I only saw a glimpse of the last time before Streamlabs took it down. And I don't know if that made it funnier or not. Just seeing randomly Burly screaming just to lock in and then getting shut down. I mean, I know that Shay has been like reading it on stream, but I haven't gotten to actually watch it, those streams yet. Too much homework and college classes for the moment. I mean, I think if I said it's a joke, but well, I can't do that. Like, I know other people have done like similar things. Like, honestly, the main inspiration for this stream was Pringles. Super Paper Mario Hamster streams. Alright, so where he does sort of do like a lot of overload on screen. I didn't feel like going that far because. Well, mostly because it's too much for me to see all that on screen at once, so... But, specifically you, Rama, because you've been, chatting a lot, you do have 15 points that you're able to use on, little effects, and hopefully they work. Honestly, I don't know if they actually will work. You can do little effects on screen. The redeem fans, but honestly I don't know how they're gonna end up. You have 15 points. If you do exclamation mark points, you're able to see how many you have. So, and just like you do like this, you'll be able to see if Streamlabs wanted to work, it will tell you. Yeah. And then if you look at the description, you'll be able to see like what you're able to actually do. Okay, I'm gonna do. So hopefully this should work. This. Yeah, you get like a little effect on for a little bit. It's just like little effects that I've made to make the stream a little more. Sadly though, I have no audio for today. My headset didn't work today. That's why at the beginning of the stream you just kept hearing me ask for the audio because it was very like crunchy to me. So I didn't actually know if it was the stream, if it was my audio, but then I saw that no one was complaining about the audio, so it must have been my headset. The betting doesn't seem to be working right now, so hopefully for next time it will work. Sorry that, because I definitely wanted to make that like a betting thing. And also thank you for betting in my favor. Oh yeah, we're still in first phase. But don't worry, we're 2/3 of the way through the first phase in the third stream. The funny thing is, even though you would have won the bet, the first bet that got cancelled, you would have gained exactly 0 points because no one betted against you, so it would have been a net 0. How was the counter broken? I've been in count. I forgot the counter wrong. How many turns did I just... Oh no. You know, I'm just gonna keep the heals... Well, I'm gonna keep the heals like that used. Hopefully next stream I'll fix the number... Well, fix the heals used because that one actually needs to be corrected for my sanity, but hopefully... Just ignore the heals used counter because for some reason it was countering the wrong counter. Yeah. Oh, 3,900 HP is how much he has for the entire battle. He has entirety 4,500 HP. And each phase is 1,500. So I could have done like 1,500 for this phase, but yeah. But then that would mean that after every phase I would have to reset the counter, and I felt like that would have been too much. Sorry. Wait, what big orange text? I don't know. what that is. Like on the thumbnail, or like, or is it like orange text on the game itself? Or was there something I missed? Sorry, I just out of it a bit because I'm still a little sick. Oh, that orange text, that, yeah, okay. It really does give the, I remember you are genocides. Or, it sure has been a weird, putting that, I forgot how the fuck. It's been a week. So I am getting on the road to recovery. It's just that I live in a desert region, and desert regions get really cold at night, so I wasn't ready for that. And I keep forgetting. Would have been session 4. And also probably would have been the end of phase 1. Like the stream if I streamed last time, but I couldn't even look at a screen without like queuing up, so like I've definitely gotten a lot better since last week. That's why there's no video up yesterday. I just couldn't look at my screen enough to actually do it. It was the video yesterday. Sorry. Yesterday's video was gonna be the mic fight, but I pet every cat. Basically the opposite of the last mic fight challenge video that I did. But like, pretty hard to do a challenge video when you can't even look at the screen. Unless, you know, you're doing a blindfold challenge. And also I haven't been able to edit next week's video, so I'm going to do the mic video next week, and then after that it's going to be the Snowden pacifist but no mercy. Honestly, I need to think of a better name for that challenge, but I haven't really... I don't think anything like actually explains what it is other than pacifism, most pacifism possible without mercy. So, we'll see. Come on. I'll give you that it is worse than... I'll give it to you that it's longer than international air travel. Would you really say it's worse? Oh, how long it's gonna take? At most 10 streams. That's the guess that I've set up. Basically, every hour I take down 5% of her HP down. So 20 hours is the expected value. So if I were to do, the original intent was to have 3-hour streams, but like I kept having like problems either like with the internet or with mostly just doing the mechanics, or like one time the controller was like not working. The first stream I did got a copyright strike a few hours in because it was just the music. For a while, and YouTube didn't like that, so that's how it ended up being. But if you were to look at every stream that I did, note that the first stream is a different attempt of it. The only reason it got out is because I did it on my PC the first time, but that caused a problem of I couldn't turn off that PC at all and keep the game up, so I had to change it to my Switch. So basically all the effort from the first stream is gone. But then I've had 2 streams of this, and last week I didn't get to stream because I got really sick. This is the 3rd session and we're almost a quarter of the way done. So yeah, it's gonna take a while, but I like it that it gives you basically a chance to just talk to you guys directly. I was like, sure, I got to comment back to a lot of you during the Story Night videos. And not many of you have commented in like my other challenge videos, but that's fine. Not everyone likes every video. I don't watch every video from every YouTuber I'm subscribed to either, so I don't expect you guys to, so. But like here I get to actually like converse with you guys, tell you about my theories, tell you about what I think about the games. Maybe even talk about some of my personal life, but not yet because I'm still not that comfortable with just reviewing stuff about myself too much. Other than I go to college. Honestly, I am a little worried of dying, not in phase 1 too much, because you know, it's phase 1 and it's only 2 attacks. I'm afraid that once we get to phase 2, I'm not going to be ready for the switch ups, or like when she does 2 of the same attack in a row. Like even though the tails are obvious, it's just going to be like, I'm not going to be ready for it. It's going to catch me off guard. Right now, like I'm in okay with like I'm not using self-fix too often. The counter's a little wrong in that one because there was a time where when I pressed the button to up the counter, I pressed the wrong button and I counted up the wrong one, so I haven't fixed that yet. But like I've only been using it like when I get down to like 40 HP or less, basically. Right now, like the attacks are really simple enough to just like react to. There was a time I was even doing it with delay, and like that's how much of like leniency these attacks have. The really hard one is the slow baseball because you are able to dodge it by pressing down, but it's just sometimes it just if you're too early you still get hit by it, and of course if you're too late you get hit by it. However, note that the head doesn't actually have a hitbox of Thrash, so you can dodge it a lot later than you think you can for those. So yeah, there is some worry of like, you know, the bigger worry that I have, which I'm so glad hasn't happened yet, is that I accidentally pressed the A button too many times and attack her. Because that is an instant loss no matter what HP commands either I or her have. Like, losing HP, I can just heal that. Accidentally hitting her, that invalidates the entire challenge. So, if you wonder where I'm worried, it's mostly in that. The problem is not only the A button I have to worry about, it's also the ZL button, or left trigger. Because that also is the confirm button. But yeah, what a way to spend the day after Undertale's anniversary, huh? So do you think this is sort of how Sans felt, that every single one of his attacks also only deal 1 damage to the player in Undertale? Just seemingly hopeless going against someone so strong, but keep going. At least I have more than 1 HP to actually dodge these attacks with. Yeah, I will leave it here too. I would have not made this challenge if I didn't think it was doable. And of course it's doable. I mean, we've all been able to win against Giga Queen. This is just do the battle but longer. And I think that's just been my mainstay for this channel. At least since I started doing Deltarune and Undertale videos. Because a lot of you guys probably don't know that this challenge actually started with Tenna, where I did that fight without doing the not using right, only getting points by grazing. That was the first version of this challenge, if you want to say it. Where basically I extended the battle by just not doing the main mechanic of it. Then it went on to Metaton EX Undertale, where I only gained, what's it called? Points? Or audience, how it's called there. I only shooting, like I didn't use any X in the battle, or items. And that extended the battle by a lot. Then it went with Stanton Neo, specifically the pacifist version of it. Well, not the pacifist version. It was it's the not weird route version of it, but still attacking him. Because there I realized if you don't attack him, you don't do any damage, but he loses defense slowly throughout the battle. So eventually, you actually do damage to Stanton Neo. Then, in the Snowgrave version, in the weird route version of the fight, from the start, you can also deal damage with missing, the same way I'm doing here. But for some reason, you do 81 damage. Okay, I'm healing. Damage per miss. And then after that I did the same thing with Devil, where if you use Pirouette on the second turn, you lower Devil's defense, but also if you do it on the 11th turn, you lower it again, he gets a negative defense. So again, if you miss your attack, you do damage to him. So I've been doing this style challenge for quite a while. And then my most popular video is the Roaring Knight videos, where I unsooned, as I called it, either Rousey or Soothy, without using revivements and by using different healing skills. So my main process has been just how much can I extend a battle, basically. And some people like it. The reason why I chose to stream this one and none of the rest is that this one is just going to be a longer battle. It's not something I could do in a single video. Several streams are going to be this single battle. I'm not sure how much people would like it. I was actually surprised. These streams have actually been a lot better than I thought they would. Just seeing you guys like speak in chat, being able to actually talk to you guys during it, not just be like, this is the only one of these challenges where I've actually talked during the challenge. Every other of my videos are just the gameplay, the song in the background, and the sound effects of the battle. And I mean, people are interested in that enough. Watching those. But this one I felt like is just way too long. This stream alone has already been going for over an hour and a half, and it's the third one of these streams I've been doing, and we're not even done with the first phase. So it's nice seeing you guys like also have hope, I guess, and are willing to see this through to the end, even if you only see like 2 or 3 of those like 10 streams that's gonna... Like, even you being here once, commenting, or even the lurkers, which I'm glad to even have some of you guys here. It's just nice being able to see that people actually enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah, an hour and 45 minutes. Like, seeing that some of you have stayed for like quite a while. It's so encouraging. It also tells me that you're not really here for the gameplay. Well, you do like the game Deltarune, of course. You're also here for me. Whatever it is that I'm saying. Maybe you like the theories that I have, or maybe the way I talk, or whatever it is that you like about it. It also tells me, like, unless you really like the Giga Queen fight, and like, really like knock you down, you're here to also just to listen to me, which I think is just nice. And even though it's just 12 of you watching right now, it's 12 more than I expected. And that's just happy. The stream. I'm gonna end this one once we get her down to 75% of each. See how I more or less ran out of topics to talk about, at least for now. But it's been nice having you guys here. And if you have anything else to talk about, feel free to leave it in the chat, and I'll respond, of course, as much as I've been trying to this whole stream. One thing I am glad about is that, because I've been having 1 week intervals, well I guess 2 weeks if you, because last time I didn't get to stream, that the Switch isn't like automatically updated or automatically, or the game itself hasn't gotten like that update. Because if anything happens to, it causes Deltarune to close, that's it, the challenge is done. Whatever amount that we do. But because I'm not gonna redo phase 1 like this again. Maybe I will, but like, feels weird to just have like basically 3-4 beams and then it's all gone basically. And then like this Switch hasn't got like an update or something that just like stopped it from working basically. Because as I mentioned a few times already, the first stream of this, it's entirely different attempt, simply because that was on my PC that I had to close Deltarune for school purposes. One thing that's interesting is that phase 3, we're not gonna need to drop her HP down to 0. But that's made me like question it. Like I'm gonna put a poll of it once it becomes relevant, but final phase ends when she does a certain attack. And she does that attack way before she's at 1 HP. So like I might put a poll in like 2 months from now, whatever it is that it takes to actually finish this challenge. I'll put a poll that says like, did we counterattack this final attack, or should we get her down to 1 HP? Like I think we only need to do like 2/3 of her final phase instead of like the entirety of it. So like, it's not gonna be the worst. But the problem is that the next phase, these attacks are like 10 to 15 seconds long. I'm not sure if phase 2 attacks are like 20 to 30 seconds long. Technically, if I hit it the entirety of phase 1 and the entirety of phase 2, Queen's third phase attacks are much quicker. But like, as you can see with my HP, that's not gonna happen. Hopefully, eventually, like more people come into these streams that like are willing to chat. Because I get it, like you guys don't have that much to say yourselves, and like it's me to entertain you guys, not you guys to entertain. Every time I run out of topics, that's my own fault, not really. But like, with more people chatting, that's more I'm able to respond back, which relieves some of the pressure of just like having to keep talking to myself. But for now, let's just keep doing this over and over, at least until phase 2 starts. That's where this challenge will get somewhat interesting. To be honest, I don't know if in phase 2 she might get more defense. Like if phase 2 makes it so I don't do any damage to her, that means that the challenge is basically over because, well, if I can't damage her, then what can I do? Currently my favorite ship is and Susie. I mean, it's basically the one that's being like spoon-fed to us, especially in chapter 4. But when it comes to stuff like that, it's always been like a weird thing of like, personally, I myself am also Aero Ace, so when I think of ships, I don't really think of relationships, more like friendships and like best friendship kind of thing. Which I mean are a thing, but like, let's be honest, most people see um dipping in the romantic rather than the friendship or other ways. Yep, I sure been doing this for 2 hours. I'm running low on topics, so I'll probably end it once she gets down to 75% of her HP. But that's still a while from now, so don't worry too much. I do think it'd be interesting, like, to see, like, character, like... I wonder what gives you the idea of Arrow Ace Suzy, or if it's just, something you're interested in seeing. I feel like also Arrow Ace is something that's not seen a lot in media. Like, we've seen... Like, it's great that we get to see, like, gay and lesbian be more prominent in media, but, like, Arrow Ace is something, like, it's not really seen that much, or if it is, it's not really... That's what I'm looking for. Thought about, I guess. Like, it's always like everyone's romantic to someone, they just don't show it. But... And then, like, you get the fandoms, like, putting, oh, this character loves this person because they said this one thing, or something like that. So, like, I'm wondering, like, if there's something in the story or game itself that made you think, like, oh, it's very likely that Suzy Ace, or is it just like, oh, she doesn't see, you know, all that advanced therefore, or is it just something that you like? I mean, that's a fair idea. And yeah, I mean, everyone does seem to love her. We see a lot with, like, we see the most of Noelle and Suzy, but there is also Burley does have an interest in her in Chapter 2, and partly in Chapter 4. Chris definitely has feelings towards her. So Rousey's just happy that he has friends. If you like Arrow Ace character, the game in Stars in Time has an Arrow Ace character in it. And she has a very, like, her story really, like, touches me, I guess you could say. To be honest, a lot of the characters in that game have their own stories that connect to me. Specifically, Mirabelle and Odile. There's just something with both of them that I just really felt like connected with me. It was funny, now that I think about it. When I did a Jumbo video, the game on the most right on my Switch was in Stars of Time, and I got like 4 comments like pointing it out. It just made me laugh. I'm happy that other people haven't seen that game. So yeah, I personally don't know much about how much Arrow Ace Toby has done. Other than Deltarune, my only connection to Toby's works is Undertale, which does have a lot of representation for several different parts of the LGBTQ. But as far as I saw, nothing really screamed Arrow Ace there. I haven't read Homestuck, I haven't seen the Halloween pack, and I don't really know much more of what else we do. So we're approaching the end of the stream as we get to 76% of her HP down, or 24% of her HP down, 76% of her HP back. So in just 3 streams, we've reached a quarter for each piece, so yeah. It looks like 12 streams is gonna be the end goal of this. And then who knows what else I'll go into. Maybe I'll go into some Deltarune fan games for the challenge videos. Because I was originally gonna switch to a different game after I finished with Undertale and Deltarune, but like, it'd be weird to be like making challenge videos on like Paper Mario, but my streams are on Deltarune, just an example. So maybe before I move on to that, maybe for my challenge videos, I'll go on to like fan game stuff. So far my only ideas has been do the same challenge but in a fan game. Not this challenge, the pacifist but no staring or pacifying or You know the weird thing about this entire challenge? I'm not even that much of a fan of Punch-Out. Like, I like the game, but like, it's not like my top 20 or anything. The only reason I did this challenge with this battle is because, as far as I know, the last battle that I haven't done that doesn't have that has negative defense on the boss. Other than Burnley, but like, I guess I could do beyond that, but like, I feel like it's too long now since. And maybe I'll buy it. The assumption is, yeah, that's Ralsei is controlling the dodging and Ralsei is doing the dodging and Susie's doing the punching. That's the idea, at least. And then Chris is whatever you do with duck mode, or whatever head you have. Which, let's be honest, for most of us is just duck. Yeah. Imagine like once we leave here, the war already happened, like it's already like the next day and like the night hasn't been stopped and like there's like hundreds of fountains or whatever. Like actual like days have passed where we're just fighting just Giga Queen in the like the slowest way possible. Also, by the end of this, I wonder, like, how many times will Queen have repeated her dialogue? Like, you probably just use math on it, like, oh, she does this many lines of dialogue, and she repeats it this many turns, and the entire battle takes 4,500 turns plus any HP killing turns. They can like use the math on it, like say, oh, it's gonna be this many repeats of her dialogue, but like just the wondering of it. Hopefully by next stream, we'll finish phase 1. Since, at least I assume at 66% of her HP is when she changes to phase 2. So like at the very end of last stream. Yeah, it's a lot of progress that she's been in just 3 streams, really. I mean, sure, you could do a lot more progress if you, actually press the attack button, but like, that's not what we do here. Luckily, I know that this happens because of like negative defense and stuff. At least it works. That's how it works for like every other boss fight that has this perk working with them. At least I know that even though a lot of Undertale bosses also have negative defense, they cannot be there's not any of those bosses that can be damaged the same by just missing. You actually have to still aim your attack, even if they have negative defense. Oh, maybe 75% HP. Yeah, 3 streams is not counting the PC one. This is my 4th stream of this challenge, but the 3rd stream of this battle, of this attempt. Maybe I should like take it out of the playlist, but like at the same time it is still the same challenge, but like it's weird in that kind of way. Maybe I put like parentheses attempt 1 in that one, maybe that'll make sense. I don't know, I'll think about it after the stream. But yeah, we reached 75% of HP. We're 1/4 of the way down of this fight. Hopefully next stream we'll see phase 2. And I think that's all. Hope to see you next week here. And if you enjoy these videos, you can find other stuff similar to this, other Deltarune content on other streaming. On my other Undertale challenge videos and Undertale in my channel. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.